if you're a people pleaser, it's time to be okay to be disliked by very, very huge amount of people. Because when you're friends of everyone, you're not friends with anyone. Well, let me check my hair. Okay, it looks decent. I wanted to make video just of the things to collect them what I learned. In my case, it will be 23 years of life, so let's get into it. Okay, I have some notes in my phone, so I will not get distracted or mess up the queue, so bear with me. The first one, the most important one in my list is sleep. I can't stress enough how important it is to have the regular schedule of sleep, and only recently I discovered how important it is for your mental health. It is really better for you to go back at reasonable hour, and I know I sound such a grandma right now, but it is really true. I think all the older people who were like, or our moms who were like, you should go back at 9 p.m. and we were like, Mom, what are you talking about? And as always, moms are always right, okay? And it took us, I mean, for me, it took me 10 years to know that, but yeah, she was right. It is really better for you to like go at reasonable hours to your bed and get up at best when the sun rises to get done what you have planned for the day 100%. Also, get a time for yourself and not doom scroll for like 2 hours or something like that. So yeah, sleep is really important. It is really important that you will regulate your sleep cycle and get your deep sleeps checked on daily basis. That's where your body heals, your mental health regulates itself. So keep in mind and try your best to get better sleep at least. Okay, moving on. The second, never make decisions out of desperation. Be still until water has calmed down. Out of desperation, I kinda applied at certain university, which cost me, I don't know, maybe 4 months of hard work, resources, time, and I still didn't get what I wanted, and it was such a waste of time, to be honest. If I were to go back, I would never ever make that decision out of desperation just because it seems safe, it seems within our reach at the time, because I think it is really better for you to like listen to yourself, to your heart, what you really want in life sincerely, and not to rush things, because when you rush things, you, in most cases, you're gonna regret it. The third, stop performing for everyone. Be true to yourself. Your kind of people will find you. And I really hope that this kind of advice will find me at my 20s or 21 years, because at the time I was such a people pleaser. I would like be very different kind of person with very different people because I wanted them to like me. Okay, I wanted to get along with the crowd. I want to be part of some kind of circles. And what I really forgot about is that you're performing for people, right? And you're not yourself, and you can't really perform all the freaking time. At some point you're gonna break, and you will have some kind of dissonance within yourself and with the people you are hanging out with. So it's really better that you will be yourself, and if some people won't like you, that's so be it. They won't like you, they will say up your time. You will know that, okay, me and that person didn't really get along, so it's better to move on. Find your kind of people, or your kind of people will find you if you'll be yourself. So I think if you're a people pleaser, it's time to work on yourself. It's time to be true and be okay to be disliked by very huge amount of people, because when you're friends of everyone, you are not friends with anyone. So number 4, privacy matters. It's better if not everyone knows every single thing about you. Up until now, I will always like post every single thing about myself, and then in this year, in 2025, I got to about what it's like for everyone to know every single thing about you, because there was some random people who was like, oh, you're doing this, and I was like, how the heck do you know so much about me? I mean, yes, you can see a story and whatever, but why did you remember all the specific things? It's such a freaky thing to do, right? And because of that, I tend to like distance myself from sharing all the private matters if it's not something related to my work field. And also, it is also because of due to AI and social media became such a house of janks, the fake stuff. The internet is kind of that in a sense that there is no sincerity. There is no like sincere want to share your life moment with other close people. Now it has become like you wanna narrative your life in a way that when other people will look at you, they will envy you, okay? They will feel jealous, and you're also like start to thinking about how to position yourself, your life around you, on also your loved ones, so it will look perfect for the camera, a camera perfect life. And I'm tired of that. I really am. I want privacy. I want to move on my pace. I want for me to share with other people what I am up to, not meeting up with them already know what I am about to talk, if that makes sense. I want to be the one to break the news. I want to be the one to share my success, my failures, and I didn't really want other people to like know all about this from my media, if that makes sense. I don't know, but that's how I prioritize privacy more. Of course, I share my illustration where I am studying, etc., all the work-related stuff, but the privacy, yeah, it stays with me, and if you're close with me, you will definitely know what I'm about. Okay, moving on. The fifth one is really related to the fourth, because it's really important to have a small group of friends you can truly rely on. As I have mentioned in the third point, I was like such a people pleaser in like 2 or 3 years ago, right? And I'm still working on it, but I have such an improvement on that field. And to be honest, and as I was saying, it's really important for you to have your kind of people who are. I now notice that I didn't really have my mic on, so forgive me if my fourth privacy matters thing is like very, very bad audio quality. My bad. Okay, moving on. As I was saying, my fifth point is like very related to my fourth and third one, because as I have said, I have been such a people pleaser for the couple of 3 years ago or something like that. I'm still working on that field, but yeah, it was really bad. And it's really important for you to have your kind of people you will be confident to, share your successes without downplaying yourself and without fearing that one might get jealous or something like that. Because I have lots of experience in that kind of things. When you're kind of afraid that certain people will not get jealous because of one's success or something like that. I also hate when other people are downplaying themselves before me, because it makes me feel like, oh, you don't have a faith in me, that of course I want best for you, right? So it means that a friendship is not that deep as we thought it would be. When you have your kind of people as a friend, a small group of friends, circle, they're there to uplift you. You are not afraid to share your losses, because you're not afraid they will talk behind your back really, really bad stuff or something like that, or tell other people who are not part of your group circle such intimate thoughts or things that you didn't really want to other people to know. So it's really important for you to build your community, okay? Small but real one. It is really necessary for your personal happiness. That's what I think. Okay, moving on. The sixth one, you need to know your heart to pursue what you sincerely want in your life. And again, it is really links knowing how to choose your friends, then also know yourself, know thyself, right? And if you don't really know what you sincerely want in your life, if you're chasing other people's path, if you're doing things just because your parents told you so, or maybe your friend is successful at something that you also wanna be successful at, or maybe you wanted that path after that friend got their success, you should know you are on a wrong track. You are maybe fame chaser, you just wanna attention. You should like admit that thing to yourself and really try to align your path to your true nature. Just because other path worked out for other people doesn't really mean that it will. And when it will not, you will blame them. You will get such a resentment towards other people. You will be really surprised. So be careful with that. You should really try to be sincere with your heart. If you're not, the shadow within you will grow and it will definitely bite you in the neck. The next one, the seventh. When you sense something is bothering you but fear going through it, you have to go through it. That's the only way out. Why I mentioned that? Recently I had this commission that I was really afraid to take because I was really intimidated by that. It was from New York and I was like, okay, what if I fail at this? What if my reputation will be ruined before I even got to start my career? And I was really afraid and I postponed it for 2 freaking months. Okay, and when I got courage and the strength that I wanted, because as I was really thinking about that, I really saw that this unfinished business was really bothering me. Okay, really did, and it was giving me so much anxiety. And I was like, okay, maybe there's only 2 choices. One way I should go through with it, or I should drop the client. And of course I didn't really want to drop the client. That's not the way out. So I go through with that, and well, it was really successful commission. I'm really proud of myself how I did that, and it taught me that lesson that when you're afraid of something, you should definitely go through with it. You should definitely lean into that fear, and came on the other side more stronger, more resilient one, and little bit more grown. Okay, 8. The cycle of life always exists in delicate balance of failure and success. Ups and downs where you get off the road in success or in failure will define whether you perceive your life as a successful or as a failure. I also talk about this in my previous video where I was saying that failure and success is go well together all the time, and it really depends on your actions, on your micro habits, whether you will end up successful or as a failure in life. I think that if you believe in your path and stick with it long enough, even after lots of failures, it will definitely lead you to the success. If that path truly aligns with your heart, I think it is really worth to stick with it until it became successful. You may need lots of years, you may need few years. It really depends when you critically evaluate yourself, start to see your flaws and working on that. It really depends on that, not the time of universe, something like that. Okay, moving on. Then we have 9. It's important to have goals, to be ambitious, to dedicate a good amount of time working towards them, but you should also never compromise your happiness and experience of life with ultimates like, I will reach the goal, and then I will enjoy the life. Because success may come late, and all you're left with is your golden years lost, not experiencing life to the fullest. And I can't stress enough how important this advice is to live really fulfilled life. As a child, I always thought that to be worthy of fulfilled life, you should be really successful, and after that you can get to enjoy your life. But how wrong I was. When I lived like that, I was so miserable. I could not even get out from the bed or something like that. I can't even say anything about the creativity. And if you make yourself restrained like that, it will backfire big time. It will cost you all of your happiness, all of your quality of life, your relationship with others. And that's what got me thinking that if you get your success and there will be no one around you, or maybe even your health, then what's the point? What's the point in all of this if you can't really enjoy it? And that's why you should definitely have goals. You should definitely have ambitions. That's what life meant to be challenged, to be overcome. But you also should live in present. You should also experience little happiness that we have every day, and those little happiness will definitely get you through such a hard winters that will come along your way if you're having a big dreams and big ambitions. That's for sure. And those little happiness will give you so much strength. So keep that in mind, to be more kinder to yourself, more open-hearted to the life itself, because life is not meant to be lived in chaos, but as freely as we can be. Next advice would be, live your life as you have lived this one eternal times. And let me break this down for you. Philosophy of life that every tiny decisions that I'm making daily, every big decisions even, or big dreams that I have been having, it should be worthy, that I will repeat endlessly if I have lived this life eternal times. And that's how I measure whether or not my specific decisions, or maybe some people in my life, should be where they are or should they live. And I think you should also have this kind of divine measurements which will kind of track you on a right path, more aligned to your heart. This kind of perspective of life really helps me redirect my beliefs, my steps or decisions more precise, thoughtfully than I will generally do. And it's also really helped me to experience life the fullest, as if you are living only this one day. So yeah, I included this because in my case it really helped me to appreciate life more, think about all of the steps I have taken, all the dreams I have dreamed, and whether or not would I do the same if I lived again. And the next one is like, be careful of undeserved knowledge. And what I mean by that, there's like saying that fake it until you make it, right? And that's very true in today's society, even more than it was way before. But you also should work on your skills, work on your like whatever you're trying to position yourself way more than you are. You should also work on yourself, because when the reality will catch up, you will definitely have the skills you said you had. Because in today's society, sometimes to get a chance, you have to position yourself a certain way. But you also need some backup of your skill sets, of whatever you're saying that you are, so it will not become a lie. Because if this positioning yourself piles up and you don't really work on yourself, then all of this will become a lie, and it will be such a huge punch to a reputation. You will definitely need enormous branding or something like that to, recover from that. So be very careful of undeserved knowledge. You should definitely be more daring in life, be more confident with yourself that you can pull this off that you said you would pull. But you should also be very realistic on your skill sets and try to make your words true. Okay, moving on. The 13 is it's like 12. Sorry. Take yourself on a date occasionally. And I think it's one of the most important advice I have said so far, because if you're a person like me, very strict, very disciplined, love all these, schedules written and something like that, have piles of work in your planner already planned, you will definitely take so much from this advice. Again, when you're not really living your life as experiencing it, and when you're like planning every day, it feels like so robotic, so mundane, so uninspiring. And when you're like taking yourself on a date, it's such a excitement. It's really lovely. Get to know yourself more, discover new sides of yourself maybe you never thought that you were. It's really a wonderful experience, I must say. At some point I was really shy. I really had a hard time even going out alone or something like that. But as I worked on that side of myself, I really started to enjoy going out with myself. I didn't really had any of this anxiety that you will have with other people maybe, when you're thinking, oh, will they like this? Will they like this movie maybe? If you're on a movie together, will they like this, event? Because I already know where I'm going. I already know what I like, and I definitely did not really have this anxiety whether or not other people will like it or not, because I'm in my own company. It's one of the new experience and excitements to my daily life, definitely. And if you're like me, if you have more mundane scheduled life, you should definitely take some weekends, maybe one day even in a week. It's really enough for you to take yourself on a date, maybe some cute cafe, or maybe in a park, and maybe see some exhibition, some theater. It really depends what you like. So definitely really worth to invest in that for your mental health, for a new experience. And also, if you're a creative person, your creativity will expand. That's certain. The routine and discipline are important, but you also have to leave a room for life to happen and surprise you. And that's what I'm saying, like in the previous point, right? You have take some days out from your schedule where you don't really plan anything and let the life happen. Let the life surprise you. Let the life give you a new experience, meet a new people that you never thought would get along or something like that. Let the life come at you. At 90%, you should definitely try your best to lead the life, to make life come from you, but at 10%, you should definitely burst that balance, because other than that, what's the point if you can't really be surprised in your life? If you planned every single thing, every breath you take, then what's the point? Life should be surprising, so you should definitely like take a step back and let the beauty of life take its place. We have 14. If you have unresolved, unfulfilled desires, you should try your best to make them come true, because they will haunt you for their life. In my case, I always wanted to play a certain musical instruments, and I never got around it. I only knew piano as a child, and then me and piano got really strange with each other at the end of my teenage years. And then when I stepped into my 20s, I really got really motivated to become all the things I wanted as a child, to, give a closure to all the wants or maybe desires I had as a child. And I also always wanted to like play electric guitar, flute, violin. And this is me at 23 when I'm like learning this. I already learned flute and electric guitar 2 years ago. I also got back to piano, as you can see already, and it's such a wonderful experience. And then it got me thinking that if you don't really try your best to fulfill all these desires that you had as a child or maybe you had as an adult, it will really come back to you, and it will be every time it will be more painful, and it will give you lots of guilt. And you don't really want to spend your life in guilt, right? You don't really want to spend your life in regret. If you like pile up all these regrets, it will really weight you down. It will not let you to live your life fullest, and you should definitely aim to live as best as you can. Moving on, the 14 is only take criticism from small amount of people, the ones you truly trust. And I can't really stress this enough, because at one point in your life you'll definitely get that not everyone who you were friends with, or maybe in your family even, really don't really have the best in their heart for you, okay? And maybe it's a conscious or unconscious, it really depends. But yeah, that's the reality of it, and you should definitely be careful. If you like take everyone's advice or everyone's criticism, you will get nowhere in life. That's the hard truth you should definitely face. And if you're like in your teens, it's really better if you get the lesson very early, okay? I got my lesson at my early, I think I was 20, that if you take everyone's criticism or advice, you will definitely improve. But that's not true, because you will get to know that, yeah, some people really don't want you like to grow. Some people really like to, just criticize you without constructive criticism, and this will not help you with anything at all. It just will lower your self-worth and nothing more, okay? And you should definitely really be careful of that kind of people. They're like vampires or something like that, so be careful of them. And then moving on, the 7th is don't really do anything out of spite of someone or something out of grudges, because it will definitely come back to you and bite you in the neck. It will eat your soul alive and will not really give you a space to enjoy your life the fullest. It is evilest crime you can do towards yourself, because you are like restraining yourself, your sincerity, your heart desires within, just to direct your life just because to spite someone, or just because you want to prove someone wrong or something like that. It doesn't work like that. If it's your motivation, do something or achieve or even become successful just because you want to prove other person wrong, those success will not really give you the fulfillment. Inside, it will always be a big hole, okay? And if you like do anything just because out of grudge, there will be like big hole inside your heart when it will not be filled with anything other than just to be more sincere with yourself, just to move on from any other grudges that you may have. Maybe you don't have a closure from some kind of relationships. It's better to get a closure, even if it's not gonna be face to face with other person, within yourself, and then move on with your life. Because life is not meant to be lived out of spite of someone or something. It's meant to be lived with very sincerity, with full of love and full of desire to make your life matter. And you should be main character of your life and not make other people or other things around you the main character of your life. So be careful not to be a victim of that very, very slight trap that you might come across in your life. The 17. Don't be afraid to break your old values or maybe beliefs that you might had and that served you at certain point in your life but no longer serves you at this present moment. Because human beings are like water and they should be lived as such. And what I mean by that, water has like aliveness to it, can take any shape or form but still be a water. It knows itself what's their core beliefs or maybe values, but they can also shapeshift just to get by, just to make their life easier, just to overcome some obstacles that may come across their ways. And humans are also like that. They can change in whoever they want. They can direct their life. They can choose a path for every stage of their life. They're really not meant to be lived as a crystallized snow where you choose one identity and you stick with it all of your life. That's not how it's meant to be. And if you're like trap yourself with just one persona or maybe character that you build for yourself at certain points, at some stage in your life you will realize that that same person or character that you built for yourself is a cage that you trapped yourself and that's keeping you miserable and you want to break free. It really got me thinking that all this may be, for example, if you take celebrities, right? They have this specific person that they have to follow for their career to, strive. And that's why it takes such a mental toll on their mental health because they feel trapped within themselves. You should definitely start very young to save up your money or resources or whatever you can call it just to get your damn place. And what I mean by that is that maybe at this certain point in your life you feel like, oh no, I really like living with my family, friends, whatever you're living with, it depends. But at some point there will be a time when you might not feel the same anymore, okay? And you should definitely have somewhere to go, somewhere that you can call your own. And it's really important to invest on your place where you can fully express yourself 100%, where you can get to know yourself without any judgment and also just living with your pace. When you're living with other people, you can't really 100% be sure what your pace is, okay? You are always trying to, at some unconscious level, to perform from every other people. And that's why it's really important to have your own safe space and work on that if you don't have one right now, to have that in the future. Okay, 19. Sometimes to love is to live. And when there's no love left between you and other person, you should definitely live. Because when there's no love left and nothing, this nothingness will not last long. And there will be always resentments lurking in some corners deep inside your heart that will take love's place. And it will be very not so pretty sight to see that one person who you love the most and devoted yourself the most can become a point of your resentment. Okay, if you're feeling that some friendship maybe the relationship with your loved ones have come at certain point where you feel like, okay, I think I don't really feel anything towards you anymore or something like that, you should definitely take, for the sake of old love, distance yourself from themselves and not drop the relationship which are already dead just because old time's sake, because it will become very ugly, within yourself, and it is also so unfair towards other people. You're trapping yourself in the old relationship where you are no longer feel loved or secure, and also it is unfair to the other people. You're also trapping them. You're also making like, oh, we are still together, but you are feeling this kind of negative thought or things towards them. Yeah, it's really ugly feeling, to be honest. And when you get at a certain point that you are very honest with yourself, okay, this relationship I think is done and I don't really feel anything towards this person, you should definitely pack your things and leave as quietly as you come across to that person. That's the least you can do for the old time's sake. And we have 20. Birthdays are important, okay? You should definitely welcome any number that you have become. You should definitely celebrate every version of yourself, the past selves that you have been, the future selves that you are to become, and you should feel confident that you will make the future selves proud as well as past selves. And I think you should have some kind of, intimate rituals. I also have one for every year I am becoming. I have some kind of ritual, and every year is like special for me. Every version is special, and I think you should definitely decide how you celebrate your birthdays, because there will be a time when you wish to be at certain age in your life, and that no longer be there, or maybe some friends or maybe people were with you at certain point in your life at certain age and you wish them to be there still. That's why you should embrace every year of your life, embrace all the happiness, all the sadness, all the sorrow that in your way will come across, and that's how life meant to be lived, as beautiful as possible. And beautiful means sadness and happiness all together. And 21, I think if you ask me like this, for example, 3 years ago I would say no, that's such a bullshit advice, but now as I have grown so much, I'm just gonna say that it is really important for you to take your time to develop your sense of style, how you express yourself within your clothes, and visually how you express yourself, because visual part of yourself is part of your identity. How you dress is how you express yourself, is how you are inside within your soul. You have to spend your time to develop your sense of style. You should be unique. You should not, I'm not saying that you should move with the trends, because trends nowadays change every freaking second. And the second of all, if you try to follow up trends, then you don't really have sense of identity. That's how it is. Fashion should be how you express yourself, who you are as a human being, what you stand for, and it should align with your self-worthiness and values. It is very intimate thing. It should not be treated as a friend or godless. When you're dressed nicely, everyone will definitely treats you better, and there will be so much opportunities coming on your way, and you also will feel so much confident within your skin. And if you're feeling confident, then you are also feeling loved. Okay, we have come along very, very, very long way, and we are before from the last. I don't know how to say it. And 22, diet is everything. You are what you eat. And I can't really stress this enough. How much is this true? Because at my teenage years, I really had some kind of problems to, focus more on my studies. And I thought, oh, that's how I am. Or maybe I didn't really have much stamina or something like that physically, and I would always assume that that's how I was. When I hit my 20s, I started to change my diet due to I wanted to change myself from inside out. And I tried some different diets, and I got to know what options I have. Yeah, after 3 years of trying, I really got to a certain point where I can say that I modified diet, taking bits from each types of diets that I have tried, and come up with my own custom diets that I always follow. It's just a matter of your health, not of visual appealing at this point. So please choose carefully what you consume, because every decision has its price. And the last but not least, 23, and we have there is no becoming in life, only process of becoming. That's where the true beauty of life exists. What I mean by that, let's break this down. You will stumble upon people who are had all these desires, goals, and once they achieve these goals, they will always have this sense of emptiness within themselves, and they all think, oh, didn't I want this enough? Why didn't I get the happiness that I imagined that I would get at the top of the mountain? And why after I get at the top of the mountain, I always want higher? And that's, my friends, it's because life is perceived very falsely. It is not to be perceived as the end goal that you will reach at the end. After you reach at a certain point, you will get this divine happiness, this divine peacefulness, etc. No. If you take a look at the nature, which is one of the greatest teachers you ever have in your life, it's always overcoming themselves. It's always becoming something. It's always striving for something, okay? Life is meant to be to pursue something, to chase after something. And in the process of chasing or pursuing something, you are becoming someone. You are becoming every different version of yourself and becoming. And that's the main truth, that in this process of becoming, there's no end point. There's no higher self. There's no, after you become a certain version of yourself, that's it. You will not evolve. No. There's always evolving. There's always becoming, the process of it. Because as I have said earlier, human beings are meant to be like a water. It's always meant to be in action, not crystallized. It's always meant to be moving, always chasing, always wanting, always evolving, overcoming, challenging. And if you don't give yourself that, if you became stagnant in life, you will see that it will make you miserable, it will make you trapped, and it will go against everything you are meant to be. And that's it, what I want to say. That's what I have gained out of my 23 years of life, and I'm really happy that you have stuck with me. I hope you did. If you don't, I will know. And yeah, I hope you have such a great evening, and thank you for sticking with me, and bye!
1, 2, 3, let's switch this up.